Now that this whole discourse with who gonna be the boys is like starting to like really take effect and everybody's talking about it now, are we gonna talk about how not all straight women are allies? Are we gonna talk about that? Let's talk about it because I feel like there's some that are, there's a lot that are actually. But then when it comes to straight men, why is it that they resort to homophobic jokes in order to like get their like back or in order to put men in their place? Meanwhile, they're also being misogynistic at the same time. Make it make sense. And there's a lot of straight women that are allies, and they're great allies too. But they think that they can talk this way because they have one GAY friend and they let them say twink. Like, and the crazy thing is that why is it their knee-jerk reaction to be homophobic as a way to humble straight men? That's not the way to do it. If your knee-jerk reaction to humbling men is like making jokes at the expense of other GAY men, that's fucking crazy. Like, just say you're tasteless. Just say you're tasteless, because it's tiring at this point. Like, girl, just because you're one GAY friend lets you say twink, don't mean you can say all this other BS. That's, like, obviously homophobic. Like, it's fucking outrageous. It's outrageous.
Wants to be the girl, who's gonna be the boy? And it's just a video of two boys kissing. Y'all are so obsessed with men at this point. Why don't you just be the boy? Like, why don't you just be the boy? You are so obsessed with, like, masculinity and men. I don't understand why you can't just be the boy. And mind you, it just makes no sense to me because, like, let's use, like, the transphobia as an example. When a trans girl is like, I'm a woman, now suddenly there's all these requirements to be a woman. You can't just be a woman because you paint your nails or you act like some way. It's like a biological thing. But then a gay man kisses another man and now he wants to be a girl. And he's pretending to be a girl. Or a man paints his fingernails and now he wants to be a girl. I feel like, do y'all not understand how harmful your thinking is? Mind you, the whole, like, from my perspective, the whole essence of this whole conversation is that a lot of y'all want men to go back to beating women. Y'all want men to be, like, toxic masculinity, like, doesn't show feelings, but if you don't show feelings, they come out. They usually just came out when those men were beating on their wives. It just don't make no fucking sense to me because, like, y'all will see a man having feelings and be like, oh, he wants to be a girl. He wants, because he has feelings. Because he has emotions. It just don't, and y'all think, like, what, like, you're doing something or, like, you're, like, advocating? No, bitch. You're just, like, making everything worse for everybody. Because you're making it worse for men because now men don't feel comfortable being themselves. They don't feel comfortable having emotions. But then you're making it worse for women because now those same men are probably not going to want to date other men or ever, like, go out there. So they'll probably get with a woman like you. And we know what happens when these gay men are so scared to be with another man that they end up marrying and having kids with a woman. Usually never ends up well. But you know what? People like you are the reason it keeps happening because you can't just see a man having emotions or a man being with another man without feeling like they want to be a woman. Mind you, is that all what being a woman is to you? Like kissing a man and like painting your nails? Because that's all it takes, y'all. That's all it takes for y'all to be on that shit. It just doesn't make sense to me because like I think they want to be men. I think men can have feelings and emotions and paint their nails. If you want that toxic masculinity shit, be the man. You be the man. Let's stop forcing that shit onto people because not all men want to be toxic and not express their emotions and shit like that. It's weird that y'all think that should be the norm.
Salute. The bitch ain't Roman. The bitch ain't Roman. The bitch not from Rome. And bitch, we ain't in Rome. So why?
And for every girl who's like under post comment, like who gonna be the boys, woo, this, that, and the third, like, you know, I want you to understand. I want you to really think deeply, like, where has boys acting like boys got in society? Think before you speak. Right? We can talk about domestic violence. We can talk about the rate of sexual assault. We can talk about a lot of different shit. We can talk about narcissism, right? I don't think nobody needs to be the boys. I think me personally, I think we all should just be human, you know? And I know it seems like a little off subject, but it's not. But Frank Ocean made pink matter for a reason. If you get it, you get it. If you don't, you don't. Everybody's favorite color ain't gotta be blue just because they got a fucking penis.
Most black people hate it when white people and other non-black people hide their anti-black racism through claiming colorblindness and the euphemisms and phrases associated with that. A great example is this whole notion of, oh, I'm not racist. I would have voted for Obama a third time if I could have. And over the past few years, I've noticed these same people say that they want the racism to be upfront instead of it being hidden, right? They want the Jim Crow signs to come back to know where they are welcome and where they're not welcome. They want it to be clear, distinct, right? And to that same degree, I want people's homophobia, more specifically black people's homophobia, to be that. I want it to be clear, distinct, right? I don't want you hiding your homophobia behind fake claims of allyship and all the euphemisms and phrases associated with that. And a popular example of these euphemisms and phrases is happening on this app right now. It's a whole trending audio where people are saying, who gonna be the boys? I keep saying that. Who gonna be the boys? Everybody wanna be the girl. Who gonna be the boy? This, alongside other terms and words that are used such as zesty, sus, pause. Like, nah, say what you really want to say. Say the F word, right? Because when you have a bunch of straight people using audio such as "Who gonna be the boy?" to discuss black queer people, to discuss us, right? To talk about us, to belittle us. I know what you want to say. You want to say, right? When you say zesty, you want to say, when you say sus, you want to say, so just say that. Like, if you believe in homophobia as an ideology, if you've truly internalized this, and you don't want to do the work to deconstruct that, and you claim to have zero fucks, have zero empathy, you don't care, then say that. Own that. Own the fact that you are a bigoted person. Own the bigotry, man. Like, I'm so sick and tired of black people especially hiding their homophobia behind these fake shows of allyship and all the euphemisms and phrases associated with that. Just like how most black people hate it when white people hide their anti-black racism behind these fake claims of colorblindness and all the euphemisms and phrases associated with that. You hate it when they do that, and I hate it when you do the same shit. You basically do the same exact shit. And you try to make it seem like it's not the case. No, you do. So own it. You want white people to own the bigotry? You want white people to make it clear and distinct about the fact that they hate black people? I feel the same way. I want black people to make it very clear, very distinct, the fact that they don't like queer people. They don't like black queer people. They don't like us. I want you to make that, I want that to be clear, distinct. Just like how you want white people to make it clear and distinct that they don't like us. Yeah.
I am not usually one to jump into TikTok discourse, mainly because it's pretty unserious. And the fact that many people will just find any reason to just simply get upset about anything on TikTok, so I just personally take it with a grain of salt and just keep on scrolling. But I do get curious, and I do get stuck down rabbit holes, and I do become a little bit invested, even though I do try to take it with a grain of salt. But like, we're all human. We're all very curious, and we all have opinions on whatever. And this has been kind of like popping on my For You page for days and days and days on end, because it's been a conversation that people just need to have. It's pretty problematic, as you just saw just now. We're going to be talking about the trend on TikTok, the sound, who gonna be the boys? And if you don't know what it is, it originated from a woman singing in a beauty salon, I think in 2022, I've heard, and she was with her gay friend, and then something, I don't know, he was telling her about something, and then it resulted her into saying, like, everybody wants to be the girl who gonna be the boys. The part, like, I think she said, like, I think the thing about being gay is that you like boys. Everybody can't be fish. Something along the lines of that. And then it became like a whole inside joke with queer men, because, you know, there's kind of like some sort of like top shortage. That's funny, but like not really, but like people, I don't know, I guess we're saying like there's more bottoms, I guess, and there's a shortage of tops. I don't really can't really say if there's an actual shortage, but like anyway, it kind of like became sort of like an inside joke, and it was just only funny when queer men were doing it. When it was just more like, it's those types of jokes that you have in friend groups where you get to just simply roast each other, and you can only just simply make those jokes within each other because we just know that we're joking. But when other people do it, then it just becomes a whole problem. And that's when it turned into a problem, when straight women start to use the sound, who gonna be the boys, to sort of humble straight men when they were being kind of like ashy and disrespectful. But then it turned into something like, it turned into something like very problematic when I think a creator I've heard, this is all I'm just telling you about like the mess that's going on. When a creator named, I think, a creator named Mari was getting hate for a new hair extension, and Mari is a very feminine presenting gay man, and a lot of women were just thinking he's trying to like be a woman because he's always like got his makeup done right, always like looking very polished, little put together, looking very pretty. You know, nothing wrong with that. You know, God forbid people can just simply want to look cute. You can't hate on someone for that. But apparently a lot of people were not loving that. And then it started to become more of a problem whenever gay couples were posting little cute TikTok videos doing whatever, straight women were coming into the comments being like, commenting, who gonna be the boys? And then that's just, it just became that. And it just became this ever-going issue. And people, I don't know, it just resorted in people being very comfortable within their homophobia. And the whole, like, this has really been happening on Black TikTok. This has really been happening on Black TikTok. This has been a huge conversation on Black TikTok. Sure, some white creators have commented on it, but really this is really like a Black TikTok issue. And this is really just an issue for the Black community. What a surprise. I actually made an episode talking about Black gay love. And the fact that I recorded that episode in February, and then this all started happening in like late April, and it just simply proved my point in the process of how we do have this sort of like rigid idea on what men should be, specifically Black men. I was talking about a whole like gender script of how Black men are presented, or how Black men are expected to be, because of like how like we view gender and all that. The problem with like the whole like who gonna be the boys like comment is the fact that it kind of like reinstates a very it reinstates a very harmful stereotype that queer men are not real men, and that they're basically just, and that the only, I guess, basically like queer men are not real men, black queer men are just don't exist, and gay relationships are not valid in any sort of way unless it's playing into a very like heterosexual script, like the top is the man. Like, I get if gay relationships follow a particular script, like who is the dominant and who is the submissive, who is the top, who is the bottom, who is the man and who is the woman, like things like that. And that is a very like tiring stereotype that people use to try to like understand queer relationships, because of the fact it's not really considered the norm. So when you hear stuff like who gonna be the boys, it's not really like working. And also like in like one video that I watched, like the second video that you saw, like it's very weird that there are women who are very concerned what is going on in a queer relationship with two men. Like, it's a little bit weird that you're so like worried of like what's happening like in that relationship, because I don't really know. I don't really understand the curiosity. And like that creator said, like no one is saying like queer men, like if a guy paints his nails or something, or he decides to like wear like a skirt one day, he's not trying to be like a girl. Like, unless he says unless he says otherwise, he still like identifies as like male. I personally don't get like the whole like interest because of the fact that like again, it's like if we're being more like specific, like if we're talking about just simply gay men, like not other like queer men in general, but if we're specifically talking about gay men, like girl, you're not really the target audience. So it's like why are you even that curious? You're not really, they're not interested in you. Also, like you don't really have to worry about them like as competition. So it's like, so I don't know. It's like there's no reason to like cause like that much like panic or like cause that much, I don't know, like start some beef. Well, even though like straight women are making these comments of like who gonna be the boys, even though like it became like a whole like inside joke within queer men in general, I do have to say like there are like when queer men did use this whole like who gonna be the boys like comment, it was a mixture of like funny, like, oh, okay, like we're just like, simply like we're having a good time, like we're just simply joking around, and then it like kind of like resonated into like also like playing into like gender roles in itself, because there are some queer men that do want to like role play a heterosexual relationship and basically like try to like really like lean into like gender norms and queer relationships. More specifically, I mentioned like the whole like top shortage thing. Like there was like a TikTok that I saw that basically like explained it all. I might insert it.
The amount of TikToks I've seen of where are the tops at? Oh, I can't find any tops. Is a top shortage? There's not. It's just that this generation of gay men are literally pathetic, and you guys don't want to be in a gay relationship. You want to be the girl in a straight relationship, okay? You think tops are supposed to be like straight men and that you get to be like the girlfriend. You want to know where the tops are? We're fucking each other, okay? We're literally having sex with each other, and that's why you can't find us. The last like 3 guys I've topped, when they're not with me, they're topping. So maybe, yeah, we're taking each other out of the dating pool because we don't want to. I don't want you to project this straight man fantasy onto me. Like I'm just as gay as you, okay? I don't want to feel like I have to role play a straight man. That's not what I'm here to do. You guys act like tops are like some different species of gay man and that we're like completely different. We're not, okay? I don't know, just the way that you guys approach, like, I just think you're lame. I just think our generation of gays are lame. I love a lot of us. Like the ones I meet in real life I love, but the ones on the internet, Jesus Christ, like, be fucking gay. Go top if you want. Wear the tops. How about you be one, bitch? Like,
Some gay men don't want to be in like MLM, like men loving men, like gay relationship. They basically just simply want straight men. And then another TikTok, it reminds me of like another TikTok that I saw like last summer of a man, like of another like gay man saying like basically like we basically want straight men who only date and interact with cisgendered women but only happen to want you. And that's also problematic within itself. There are some queer men who really do kind of like want to role play a heterosexual relationship and really do like treat like tops as straight men when they're just as gay as them. That's a little problematic. There's nothing wrong if that's like if you're like gender roles and like whatever, but that's your relationship. I guess it gets problematic when like I don't know, like it just gets a little problematic when it's like you're really like heavily enforcing like when it's something that you're saying like we should all do, when in reality like queer relationships are very unique because like we can just simply make our own rules, you know? And I do think it's a little problematic when We try to like role play heterosexual relationships. And we all know that gender roles, like very strict gender roles, I've been seeing this whole gender war debate between men and women. It ain't working. It ain't working. Like, on one end, women are saying, like, men ain't shit. All men are trash, they're garbage. And then another, like, men are saying, like, women don't know shit. They just complain, all that, ball and chain, just get on my nerves. Both sides are just in a fight. And we really don't really need to, like, I don't know, it's just strict gender role. I don't know, it's obvious that, like, strict gender roles are not really helping us right now. It seems low vibrational, you know? Obviously, like, if we, like, I guess for men, if we really do, like, stick within a, if we really do, like, stay within our, like, own, like, toxic, like, masculinity box of never really, like, exploring or, like, exploring any, like, different facets of our own identity, it does lead to, like, self-repression, and, like, it just, like, really, like, leads to, like, anger and violence, and then all that. And then also, like, when all the shaming that comes with the comment of who gonna be the boys, it does, like, lead to a lot of, like, men, but in particular, since it's happening on Black TikTok, it's happening with, like, Black men that's being shamed the most. It leads to a lot of them being to yell, and then, or down low in particular, it leads to a life of secrecy, deceit, and unfortunately, oftentimes death, mainly because of the fact that these men are just simply scared to be themselves. If people find out that if they're gay, bi, or, like, and just simply, like, into guys, it's very easy to, like, point fingers as to why, like, this whole down low, like, epidemics, like, started. It's all men's fault that down low men exist. That they're the ones that do play into the fact that, like, to these very strict patriarchal roles, this toxic masculinity, it's very easy to say that, and multiple things can be true at once, because, well, obviously, yes, because, like, the system is built by men, but as I gotten, like, older, and as I've, like, seen different perspectives, and just, like, looked around the internet, and just, like, in my real life, everyone plays, like, we all kind of, like, play a factor into keeping up that whole toxic, patriarchal, like, toxic masculinity, like atmosphere in society. And we do play into the down low epidemic, and, like, making men feel like they have to, like, hide themselves, to not really be that expressive of themselves, or, like, be more open, and pretending that, like, it's only men that really dug the grave themselves. Yes, that's true to an extent. Everyone, like, plays a part to an extent. Like, we all kind of, like, have internalized beliefs in, like, how men should act and be. And obviously, from what we've been seeing in the world, that, like, mindset, it's not working. This whole, like, down low epidemic, and this who gonna be the boys, like, rhetoric, like, keeps happening, because it really is, like, reinforcing an idea of, like, men having to be a very specific way. And also, if we're talking about, like, Black men in particular, it's also, like, playing into my whole point of, like, Black male, like, sexuality. It's, like, not a whole thing, it's not really a real thing. But, like, with this whole, like, conversation of, like, who gonna be the boys, we also have to remember that even though it's also very homophobic, it's also very transphobic, because it plays on to, like, the whole assumption that queer men are trying to be women. It reinforces this idea that trans women are not really women, that they are just simply men in cosplay, pretending to be women. It really does reinforce that. And it just really like exposes that not all women are like allies of like queer men. Some women do view like queer men as like accessories. And I've seen this on TV, and I have seen this in real life, like with somehow like some women do interact with some gay men. I do see that, especially like in high school. Like I did see that in high school. And they do be exposing themselves sometimes. It's not really a cute look. But anyway, that's kind of all I have for today. So thank you for listening to Let's Discuss. You can find the podcast on Spotify, YouTube, anywhere you stream podcasts. You can follow it on social media at Instagram and TikTok at Let's Discuss Podcast _ all lowercase. And you can follow me, Nick.Marshall02, all lowercase. And hope you guys have a beautiful rest of your day, week, month, year. And we'll talk soon. It's been kind of like a short talk. I just didn't really have that much to say because there's like many like TikTok videos on it. But like, anyway, we'll talk soon. All right, bye.